Morning, everyone. It's been a while since I've sent a video out, the purpose of this video is to share with you a little bit about May. And as far as that seems to be, it'll be here before us. It'll be here before we know it. And in the beginning of the year, I shared that as part of our professional development work within Chapman University. The last Chapman University session would actually include a time where we got to do some sharing and reflecting about our professional learning that took place this school year. And that's what I want to talk about today, a little bit about that process so people feel confident and comfortable knowing what's headed down the road. And what needs to be done. I'll kind of backtrack for a second and just tell you a little bit about, or just help us all remember, when I started thinking and got some feedback that you provided me about going deeper in topics and working with people from a variety of backgrounds and roles within the building and expanding our knowledge. And just that whole notion of being a little bit more self-directed and having some autonomy around the work. That all those components came together to kind of develop what our Chapman University has evolved into. And I just can't help but remember one of my favorite authors, Daniel Pink, in his book Drive. What really motivates people to get up in the morning and do the work that they do, even the work that's hard, like teaching, is people have this desire for autonomy. And people really get motivated when they're self-directed. And I hope this year you had the opportunity to, while work within a through line with a question that kind of was your North Star for your group, you had the opportunity to kind of dig deep and try some things on your own and use the support and the knowledge and the resources of your colleagues to kind of get better at your craft. And that leads to Pink's second kind of his second criteria for why people kind of stay motivated and what motivates them is that whole notion of mastery. People want to get better at their craft. They just do. We all do. We find it very gratifying when we start at one level and we graduate or move through a continuum to be better at what we're doing. And nothing gives you more satisfaction than that. So hopefully, again, you had that opportunity to kind of say, in the beginning of the year, I was not as confident, not as much on solid ground in this particular area of my professional practice. And I've used some things and some strategies that I've learned to get better at what I did. Very, very fulfilling. And then the third component, that third pillar, is that sense of purpose. Why are we doing what we're doing? Hopefully for all of us, it's all about helping kids meet and exceed their expectation and increase the level of student achievement. And having a direct impact on that. And what couldn't be more fulfilling and rewarding than helping a child achieve mastery in something that they couldn't do in the beginning of the year. So those three things kind of are my foundational pieces for why we kind of structured Chapman University the way we did. Hopefully you found it really, really beneficial. Moving forward into May, you'll see in the attachment here on this email that there is a framework for documenting our learning. And I meant this framework to be very, very simple and easy for us to complete. But in May, our last Chapman U session, I'm actually going to break the study groups up. So there'll be small groups of 5. And you'll be working with people that you haven't worked with since the beginning of the year. They're not in your group, but this is our opportunity to share and document what we learned. I go back to how Fred Burton shared with us that whole notion of documentation, and part of that process is documenting, interpreting, but also sharing those results. And you'll see in the document that the first thing that you're going to just share with the group is when it's your opportunity to share. And I'm thinking each person will have 3 to 5 minutes to share their experience. I know that's hard to do in such a short period of time, but 3 to 5 minutes to essentially tell the others what were your through line questions. What were your North Stars? What were the things that your group was really grappling with and maybe just needed some to take a lot more time to think through and experiment with different techniques and learn from others. What were those through line questions? They might pique some curiosities for the other folks that you're going to be sharing with. And then the second area of that template is just share an artifact. So, what was it this year that the work of Chapman University kind of propelled you to do? My example that I put in there was the time that I got to document or try my hand in documentation and uncovering some things that a student was trying to get better at with a colleague. So one of the principals documented me working with this student, and we just uncovered some things from what things we can offer this student to accelerate her learning. But also, I looked at my own practice and the level of questions that I offered, and I looked at my wait time and reflected on how I could have done it better, how I could have done things better, which was very, very powerful. And I actually went to the classroom teacher and the classroom teacher of that student, and I talked for a good 20, 25 minutes and just of the things we noticed in the video and how that can kind of some of the things that we noticed, how we can help that child get stronger in this particular area she was working on. So that was relevant to me, and that's what I would share if I was part of that process. And then the third component of that template is just, I know a couple of different study groups have created resources and banks and of information that can be shared for the greater good, for the greater organization. And if you have a resource or a point person that you want to communicate to the other people in your study group to say, hey, if you're interested in knowing more about differentiated thinking routines or a progression or a timeline of what we've done around learning goals, here's this resource, or here's the area to get that, here's the website, here's the wiki, here's where it's located, or here's the person that you really want to touch base with because they've been doing a lot of work on this. Networking, getting that information out there, sharing your knowledge. Again, the actual document should take you a real short period of time to pull together. Maybe your group wants to make one that's all the same, so you're all having a similar message, or maybe your group has decided, you know what, we're going to have a similar through line, but each one of our artifacts are going to be just a little bit different based on our own experiences. So I've met with your study group guides, Martha and Patrick and Andrea, and Lauren and Kara. So they have some more information to share with you, some more clarity around this topic. But hopefully this was helpful as you're thinking about culminating this year's Chapman U experience. Hope you have a great week this week, and hope you enjoy your time with the students. Thanks so much.